The mashup is brought to you by William A. Smith & Son Insurance. You enjoy the game, we'll worry about the other stuff. And Davis Furniture on Route 9 in Poughkeepsie, giving our customers more and charging less for over 90 years. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the mashup, coming fresh off the first leg of the Officials versus Cancer tournament at SUNY New Paltz. And what a great day of basketball it was. And we're not done. The tournament resumes for another 4 great matchups this Saturday at Falcon Hall on the campus of Dutchess Community College. So let's start with the marquee matchup of last Sunday, Newburgh against Poughkeepsie. This match always provides some thrills and chills and some of the most gifted athletes in the Hudson Valley. Newburgh in white and Zach Barnes was about to have a day with 21 points. Devontre Thomas led Poughkeepsie with 19, but Newburgh was able to chip away and outrun and gun the Pioneers for a 76-67 win. Speaking of gifted athletes, how about Saugerty's 8th grader, Dior Johnson? Johnson and the Sawyers took on Middletown. That proved to be a heated battle until someone caught fire in the third quarter, and it wasn't Dior. Oh, Dior was good. I mean, come on, he's only an 8th grader. He had 21 points by halftime and 30 for the game. But Marquise Gill had 8 3-pointers, 5 of them in the third quarter. He finished with 34 points. 20 of those points were in that third quarter, leading Middletown to an 86-74 win.
I think we settled down on offense and we started getting into the middle of the zone. We were taking a lot of bad shots in the first half.
Great third quarter. That's where you got your separation. Did you just feel it? You were hitting 3-pointers at will?
It's just, I work on my game a lot, and that's just comfortable for me.
In the early game, Kingston took on North Rockland. And rounding out the tournament, John Jay and New Paltz played it down to the wire with the Huguenots pulling it out. Jay had a tough weekend, losing to rival Ketchum the day before 59-52 and losing one of their star players, Aiden Hildebrand, in the process. Hildebrand started off hitting 2 quick field goals, and then, still in the first quarter, he goes down under the basket in what looked to be a hyperextended knee. And with Hildebrand sitting the rest of the game, it was all hands on deck. Tommy DeRusso for 2. Justin Long from the outside. Brady Hildebrand's baseline move. And Scarpelli from the outside. Jay had a 29-26 lead at halftime. But in the second half, the M&M boys were creating havoc. Mike Mignone, 2 of his 9 points. And Sean Riley was putting up the points in the paint. He finished with 14. But the big killer was Nick Murray, with some critical 3-pointers. Murray finished with 14 points, and Alpha Bangura's 16 points put Ketchum in the driver's seat with a 59-52 win.
It means everything to me. When I first moved up here, when I was on WAP Junior, we always had rivalry at Van Wyck, and we always used to lose to them. Last year when I was on JV, we lost to them twice. So it feels good to come out here with a new team. We had some difficulties in the beginning of the season, but it feels good to beat our rivals.
I thought the turning point in the game was probably late in the third quarter where we lost track of Murray. And, bam, 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 the kid knocked down 3 threes.
What about the fact that, one of your star players goes down, but the team really rallied? That says something about the way these guys came together, doesn't it?
We kind of had a little foreshadowing of that the other day when he got into foul trouble in the Arlington game, the third quarter of the Arlington game. He sat for most of the quarter, and that was actually the quarter where we got some separation from Arlington, so I think that might have been in the back of a couple of their minds,
Yes, in that Arlington game, Jay did provide great separation in the third quarter, and it was all hands on deck.
It was 33-31 Arlington at halftime. Second half, and once again, it's the strong third quarter play of John Jay that puts the Patriots in the lead. Brady Hildebrand had 2 3-pointers and 14 points. Tommy DeRusso runs the floor and follows that up with a 3-point. DeRusso finished with 8 points. Jay outscored Arlington 23-12 in that third quarter, and that was the separation they would need as Massaro tries to keep it close, but the damage was done, and Jay wins it 70-61 on the William A. Smith & Son Insurance scoreboard.
So the Officials versus Cancer tournament picks up this weekend at Dutchess Community College, and here are games on tap as Bob DeRico, one of the local officials and tournament coordinator, runs down the list of games.
Okay, the first game at 12:30 is the Lords and Ketchum.
Right.
They've been going at it for a long time.
Yep.
And they'll renew that in the first game. And then another one of those rivalries that goes back a long way is Arlington and Roosevelt.
Yeah.
They have always put on a good show. They've always competed very hard, and they want to win the game, as a good rival does. Then Spack and Kill and Red Hook.
Yeah, that's
Okay, that's a pretty interesting matchup. These games, you don't know what to expect.
Right.
I think they're pretty good matchups. And then Beacon and Cornwall. We got Beacon in for the first time. They always seem to. Their schedule was full and they couldn't participate. It wasn't that they didn't want to, but their schedules were full, and this time, well, they had a slot. Cornwall always has a nice program, so I'm expecting that to be a dogfight too.
The Ketchum girls seem to have rival John Jay's number this year, beating the Patriots for the second time. This one didn't need overtime. It just needed sharpshooter and 1,000-point scorer Katie Walls to kick it into high gear.
Jay in the home white, and the Patriots get the party started as Alyssa Caswell gets the steal and Nicole Masacchio puts it in. Masacchio had 14 points in this game. Lexi McGovern to Allison Shaw, and Shaw takes the floater in the lane. Jay led 19-16 at halftime. In the third quarter, Jay went to the long ball. Caswell caught fire for 2 3-pointers, and Masacchio had her own arsenal of Patriot missiles. It was 33-26 after 3. Meanwhile, Ketchum's sleeping giant woke up in the fourth quarter. Katie Wall scored 11 of her 16 points in that final frame, while Jay was trying to retain the lead with free throws. The Indians' defense shut Jay down by not allowing a single field goal in the final quarter, and outscored Jay 18-8 in the fourth quarter to win it 44-41 on the William A. Smith & Son Insurance scoreboard.
Speaking of 1,000-point scorers, Highland has a legacy of players who have hit that milestone, and they all come from the same family, as Chris Caron explains.
When Highland junior Brianna Rozzi scored her 1,000th career point in early January against Middletown, it wasn't just an accomplishment for her, but just a way of doing family business.
You know, people know the Rozzies have always been a part of basketball.
When I got here, I found out, that it was a very popular name.
The Rozzi name is synonymous with Highland girls basketball. 5 sisters have spanned across 3 decades on the school's hardcourt, Brianna being the 5th that has played on the varsity program and the 4th to score her 1,000th career point.
Erica, she took a liking to basketball, and it just took off from there.
Renee was more of a defensive player, but she was also a point guard.
I think I was, more of an all-around player. I did certain things well.
Allie was a pure outside shooter, 6-7 feet outside the arc.
Now it's Brianna's turn. The youngest of the 5 Rozzi girls showed promise in the sport early.
I was at their games since I was born. I was going to their college, high school games, and I kind of took a little bit of each sister and put it into my game.
Brianna, she's got the whole package. She plays defense, she sees the court well, she's a great team player.
I remember going to her CYO games as like a 3rd grader, and she was doing reverse layups and really Like, when, how, what's happening?
As just a 7th grader, Brianna was brought up to the varsity level. In her first career start in the New York State Regional Semifinals, she scored 17 points, and she hasn't looked back since.
3 of the sisters have won sectional titles here at Highland, but Bree has a chance to do something none of the other have: win a state playoff game.
It's basically our defense. You know, our offense is there, but it's not where we want it to be at. But I think at this point in time, our defense is really strong, and our defense could take us far into the tournament.
Reporting from Highland, I'm Chris Karen.
So that will do it for this edition of The Mashup. I'm Charlie Cornacchio, and from all of us here at HVNN and HVNN Sports, thanks for watching, and tell your friends. In fact, tell your enemies. We welcome all viewers. HVNN.com and HVNNSports.com. We're always local, and we're always free. We'll see you next time. The Mashup is brought to you by William A. Smith & Son Insurance. You enjoy the game, we'll worry about the other stuff.
And Davis Furniture on Route 9 in Poughkeepsie, giving our customers more and charging less for over 90 years.